Just a heads up, the issue we're about to talk about is a continuation of what happened in the Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum one-shot, so you might want to take a look at that before continuing on, or watch my video on it, which I'll link to at the end. Green Lantern number 19 is written by Jeremy Adams with art by Fernando Pasarin, Auclair Albert, and Jason Paz, colors by Romulo Fajardo Jr., and letters by Dave Sharp. The title of this issue is Loose Threads. The Green Lantern Corps is getting ready to head out and intercept Nathan Broom, the Sorrow Lantern, before he can build his own central battery. According to Hal, since the power of sorrow isn't supposed to be a main part of the emotional spectrum, activating a central battery full of it could damage the structure of the entire spectrum and do permanent damage to the universe. Hal expects Carol to come help, but she refuses. She's still new to this whole superhero thing, and she doesn't have the influence of the Predator or the Zamarons to guide her actions anymore. She's got to figure this out for herself, which is why Carol chooses to sit this one out and continue working with the Justice League instead. She's learning a lot by being surrounded by veteran superheroes, and it's ultimately good for her to not just interact with other Lanterns all the time. So they agree to part ways, though Carol will still come running if she thinks Hal is in too much danger. Meanwhile, Kyle Rayner is putting a team together. Kyle is more in tune with the emotional spectrum than any other Lantern, and everything that's been happening with the spectrum has been wreaking havoc on Kyle's mind. It's all settled down now that Tharos and the Source Lantern are gone, but all of this business with Sorrow could make Kyle's problems flare up again. So he wants some backup who aren't strongly tied to the power of the spectrum. So he recruits Connor Kent, Superboy. I like this callback. The two of them worked together fairly early in their careers, and even hung out a little in their downtime, so it's nice to see this friendship get a chance to be explored some more. The other person Kyle recruits is someone brand new. Her name is Odyssey the Time Bandit, and we don't know very much at all about her yet. She's a time traveler who was imprisoned in Noah's science cells. She's being hunted by some other mysterious time traveler, and she has a Legion flight ring. Kyle has read her entire file, so he knows what her whole deal is, and thinks she's perfect for this mission. And she has to help if she doesn't want Kyle to turn her over to that other time traveler who's been looking for her. I'm not sure if I like Odyssey's design. I think they're trying to go for a mix of 80s retro, modern, and futuristic. It makes sense for someone who steals things from the past, present, and future, but I don't know if all of those elements look good together. Maybe I'll think differently once I've seen her more. Either way, bringing her on is a very strange, very deliberate choice, and I'm curious to see where this goes. Kyle, Connor, and Odyssey meet up with Hal on the Justice League Watchtower, where they head out on their mission aboard the Interceptor. This is the ship from Green Lantern the Animated Series. It's been part of the mainline comic continuity since the War of the Green Lantern storyline, and it pops up every now and then. It's a nice reference, and it makes a lot of sense that the ship will come back now, since Jeremy Adams was a writer on Green Lantern the Animated Series. And just look at this. We've got Hal, another Green Lantern who's an old friend of his, plus two other misfits going on an adventure in the Interceptor. Sounds a lot like the cartoon, doesn't it? Speaking of the cartoon, we've got two more references to some form of the TV show's events being canon. We're told that Hal and the Interceptor have been through a lot together, and then Hal says that the ship's artificial intelligence isn't on board anymore. And don't forget that Razor is still hanging around not doing anything, though he is confirmed to have a history with Hal and Kilowog. This book is really ratcheting up the connections to the animated series. Who knows, maybe some of the things they never got the chance to do in animation will get to happen here instead. Hell, maybe this storyline will eventually lead them to finally reuniting with Aya. I do have to point out one more thing though, and it bothers me every time the Interceptor shows up in a mainline comic. They're flying the ship backwards. If you watch the show, the big round part is the front. I understand why someone would look at this design and think that it was the other way around, but come on, at least pander correctly. Anyway, Nate the Sorrow Lantern is still on some alien planet with Starbreaker. Their location is listed as the Castle of the Desolate Stone, and Starbreaker has apparently finished translating the parts of the Book of Oa that are relevant to his plan. Then he opens up a big portal and summons a ton of people who are all dressed like him, and refer to him as brother. So I guess this is a gateway to his homeworld or something? Starbreaker knows he's going to need an army to defend against the Green Lanterns, and he likely intends to arrange things so that he and his people can eat the emotional spectrum, since he's a vampire who can consume quote-unquote negative emotions, so they probably can too. He calls them the Starbreaker Corps. I don't think that's a very good name, but maybe it'll grow on me. But all of that will have to wait, because Hal receives word that there's been an incident close by. Apparently, the central batteries help to regulate the flow of the emotional spectrum, and with almost all of the central batteries gone, the spectrum is behaving erratically. Now, anyone who has an emotional outburst that's intense enough could end up tapping into that part of the spectrum, which could be absurdly dangerous depending on what power they're connecting with. Hal goes off on his own to investigate, intending to meet back up with Kyle and the others later. What he finds is a massacre, an entire village that's been beaten to death. And their killer is still there, right behind Hal, burning with a fiery fury that would rival any Red Lantern. This feels like the first appearance of an important character. I'm eager to see more of him next time. So that's the Green Lantern number 19. Now I want to know what you think. Do you agree with Carol's decision to stay behind with the Justice League? Do you think all these animated series elements are going somewhere? Who is the other time traveler hunting Odyssey? Tell me all about it in the comment section down below, and subscribe if you haven't already, because this storyline is just getting started, and I'm eager for us to find answers to all of these questions and more together. Until then, thank you for taking the time to watch. My name is Dan. We'll talk again soon.